This explains many other things, as I think you will agree, including his relationship with his family, his relationship with Hale's daughter, and his being forgiven his wild and tempestuous statements. Most ranking people in the North knew it was all an act, and those that didn't could be clued in later, to the extent necessary. But let us return to Whitman and the story from the theater. A moment's hush, a scream, the cry of murder. Mrs. Lincoln leaning out of the box, with ashy cheeks and lips, with involuntary cry, pointing to the retreating figure. He has killed the president. And still a moment's strange, incredulous suspense, and then the deluge, then that mixture of horror, noises, uncertainty, the sound, somewhere back, of a horse's hooves clattering with speed. The people burst through chairs and railings and break them up. There is inextricable confusion and terror. Women faint, quite feeble persons fall and are trampled on. Many cries of agony are heard. The broad stage suddenly fills to suffocation with a dense and motley crowd, like some horrible carnival. The audience rush generally upon it, at least the strong men do. The actors and actresses are all there in their play costumes and painted faces, with mortal fright showing through the rouge, the screams and calls, confused talk, redoubled, trebled. 2 or 3 manage to pass up water from the stage to the president's box. Others try to clamber up, etc. In the midst of all this, the soldiers of the president's guard, with others, suddenly drawn to the scene, burst in, some 200 altogether. They storm the house through all the tiers, especially the upper ones, inflamed with fury, literally charging the audience with fixed bayonets, muskets, and pistols, shouting, "Clear out! Clear out, you sons of..." Such the wild scene, or a suggestion of it rather, inside the playhouse that night. So Mrs. Lincoln waits until after Booth has jumped down on stage and delivered his little speech to cry, "He has killed the president." She doesn't want to interrupt him, I guess. So polite. The strong men rush the stage, but only after Booth has gone limping off. So polite. And the president's guard, suddenly drawn to the scene after Booth has fired shots, knifed Rathbone, jumped down, waved his knife, said his speech, tied his shoes, adjusted his belt, combed his hair, and checked his watch, come bursting in 200 strong, as if to make up in numbers what they lacked in being there to start with. This whole story is ludicrously bad, but say we decided to accept it. We should then ask, why were 200 guards waiting outside, ready to burst in all together? That, by itself, would signal some kind of foreknowledge. It is like the current fake events, where the police arrive before the shots are fired, or when fire trucks are at the Pentagon before the alleged plane even crashes. Are we expected to believe that 200 guards or police are just milling around outside the theater, but that not one is anywhere near the presidential box or stage inside the theater? If you have any friends in the Secret Service, you should ask them what they think of this story. Ask them if they think Lincoln's chief guard would post 200 men outside the theater and 0 inside the theater. Obviously, the 200 guards were there to burst in and create pandemonium.